Hello friends and welcome into NFL Daily. I am your host Tom Downey. Many of you guys asked for it, a post-combine NFL mock draft. That is exactly what we're going to give you guys today. We begin with the number 1 overall pick, and there is still no change. It is still Joe Burrow, the quarterback out of LSU, to the Cincinnati Bengals. It's a very obvious fit. Number 2, the Redskins have got them taking Chase Young still, so no change on that front, although they are going to at least meet with Tua, which is at least worth monitoring. Number 3, the Detroit Lions. I've still got Jeffrey Okudah. No trades this time. Hint, hint, stay tuned for a future NFL mock draft video. Detroit's an obvious trade down candidate. If they stand pat at 3, I think defense makes sense. And with Darius Slay's trade a possibility, Okudah is a perfect fit for what Detroit could be searching for. Number 4, and this is where things could really kind of pivot. Do the Giants want to go linebacker? Isaiah Simmons would be a great fit. Or do they want to go offensive line? Derek Brown, because it is Dave Gettleman, is also an option. I went with Mekhi Becton. He moves almost unbelievably well for someone his size. I tend to believe that Dave Gettleman will like that about him. He played really well at Louisville. He is still developing, but that's what pretty much all offensive linemen are doing. The Giants have a big-time need on that offensive line. I think Becton would be a good fit. And we've mocked Isaiah Simmons several times in a row. So let's mix it up and look at a different scenario because that's, well, what mock drafts are for. Number 5, no change here. It is still Tua. Sounds like good medical news coming out of the NFL Combine. If that's the case, maybe I even tries to move up for him from number 5 to number 3. Justin Herbert, he checks in here at number 6. LA in need of a quarterback of the future. Now, if they go out and get like a Teddy Bridgewater or something in free agency, offensive line makes a ton of sense. But for now, I'm still going to mock quarterback, and that is Justin Herbert at number 6 overall. Number 7, the Carolina Panthers. They've got needs on defense pretty much across the board, all 3 levels because of free agency. So I'm going to give them the best athlete in this year's class, Isaiah Simmons, who could play linebacker, could play safety, could heck play nickel, corner, edge rusher, can do it all for you. The only limits on Isaiah Simmons are whatever the defensive coordinator places on him. You plug him in, maybe he's your Luke Kuechly replacement. Regardless, he's going to be a good player in the NFL. Number 8, CeeDee Lamb. Reunite him with Kyler Murray. Yes, you brought back Larry Fitzgerald, but now looking long-term, some of your top receiver prospects, or should say options, are Christian Kirk and CeeDee Lamb as your number 1. Cliff Kingsbury wants to run a lot of 4-receiver sets. They need bodies right there, and CeeDee Lamb could be a fantastic one. Plus, how can you not pass on the chance to put him back with his old college quarterback? Now, I want you guys to name your favorite prospect for me this year. It doesn't have to be the best prospect, but your favorite one in this year's NFL draft class. I will make this question the pinned comment, so if you're watching on YouTube and you get an ad break here, scroll on down and drop your names right there. Number 9 is Derek Brown to the Jacksonville Jags. Did not test as well as hoped. I still think there's a good chance he goes in the top 10, but if the Jags pass on him, he might go for a little bit further a tumble than we otherwise anticipated. Jedrick Wills, he is here at number 10. He's going to be a day 1 starter at right tackle. The Cleveland Browns need all kinds of offensive line help. I thought about Tristan Wirfs here. More on that in a second. But it's a really good offensive line class. If I'm Cleveland, I am taking the best one on the board and figuring out where my 5 guys start in camp and in the preseason. Now, those are your top 10 picks in this latest mock draft, which means there are going to be top prospects who will fall out. If there's a run on quarterbacks or run on offensive linemen, defensive players, receivers might fall. I know there are a lot of, these are going to be a top 10 pick, but we have like 15 or 20 different names at this point. Players are going to fall, so let me know in the comments which ones you think will just slide out of the top 10. At number 11, I've got Tristan Wirfs, who I am a big fan of. I've liked him for a long time. He's going to be a great NFL tackle. Freak athlete as well. I like his fit with the Jets. Much like the Giants, the 2 New York teams should be doing everything they can to ensure that they protect their franchise quarterbacks. All right, the Las Vegas Raiders on the board here at number 12. I got them taking Jerry Jeudy. CeeDee Lamb already off the board, by the way. Raiders looking for a number 1 receiver. I believe Jerry Jeudy can be that for them. He is a fantastic route runner. reminds me a little bit of an Odell Beckham type in terms of how easy he's able to get open. I think he'd be a really good fit in this current offensive system. If one of those two guys, Jeudy Lamb, are on the board at number 12 and Simmons off it like he is in this mock draft, I think that's the route the Raiders have to go. Now you can bet on all kinds of things on BetDSI, including XFL title odds. The Dallas Renegades opened the year as the betting favorite. Now Landry Jones is banged up again. They've slid back down to plus 600. Houston Roughnecks and the DC Defenders and St. Louis Battlehawks are the three favorites right now. Houston leads the way at plus 175. If you want to bet on the XFL or March Madness or NBA, do it on BetDSI. It's chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code NFL120. That promo code, that URL, it gets you a 120% deposit bonus. Number 13, Javon Kinlaw. The Colts are very high on him. That was a very clear takeaway to me now that I've left the Combine in Indianapolis. They are also not convinced he's going to be on the board. Now, he does have knee tendonitis, and that could be a big red flag. That might drop him down the boards and potentially back further in round one or even out of round one, kind of like Juwan Taylor happened to him a little bit ago, or Jonathan Allen with his shoulder several seasons ago. But if the Colts have a chance and he checks out medically at 13, I think it's going to be a quick pick for Indianapolis. He fits exactly what that defense and front office likes to have. Number 14, Andrew Thomas to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the other of the top four offensive line. I think he's the fourth one taken. The Bucs are in need of offensive line help. Thomas comes in, maybe not a true day one starter for this team, but he's going to be a key piece long term, and that's what the Bucs need. Number 15, Henry Ruggs. Assuming Denver figures out the cornerback position, I think they're going to covet the chance to pair Henry Ruggs alongside Courtland Sutton as the dynamic 1-2 punch at the wide receiver spot going forward. Number 16, K'Lavon Chaisson. AJ Epinesa, who I mocked before to Atlanta because I like the fit. He's going to slide. He tested pretty poorly. Even I wasn't expecting great. I think we got kind of middling at best athlete there. Chaisson didn't do the drills, but we know he's a great athlete. I like him a lot. The Falcons need more pass rush help. And if Kinlaw or Brown are on the board, I don't think they're going to get past the number 16 pick. Now, if you guys want more NFL draft videos beyond just our mock drafts, talking prospect rankings, for example, of course, free agency stuff too, but if you want more NFL draft videos, hit that big red button, subscribe, and oh, by the way, make sure you have notifications turned on. That way, you don't miss a single of our NFL draft videos we're going to have here throughout the offseason leading up to the NFL draft. The number 17 overall pick belongs to the Dallas Cowboys. I've got them taking C.J. Henderson. Guys like Javon Kinlaw, Henry Ruggs, K'Lavon Chaisson, all already off the board. Henderson tested really well at the NFL Combine, and I think that might be just enough to kind of put a bit of distance between him and, say, a Jeff Gladney or a Christian Fulton. I still like those guys, and Henderson's interception production regressing is a big red flag, but there aren't very many prospects and players who can play sticky man-to-man coverage. If you can do that, you're going to be able to play in pretty much any scheme. Henderson can do that. Tackling is a big red flag. 2018 was better than 2019, but at number 17, you're not going to find a perfect prospect. You're going to have flaws at that point. For the Cowboys, who desperately need cornerback help, assuming Byron Jones does leave, Henderson can bring that quickly to that defense. Number 18, Josh Jones, the Houston offensive lineman, goes to the Miami Dolphins. You got your quarterback in Tua. Now get your blindside protector going forward at number 18 overall. All right, the second of the two Las Vegas Raiders first-round picks, I'll go with Patrick Queen. We've mentioned Kenneth Murray before, so I want to mix up and talk about the other linebacker. And the Raiders have a huge hole at the position. It has been far too long that the Raiders have neglected the spot and thrown day 3 picks, tried to sign guys in free agency that weren't really the top-end guys, trying to find more cheap bargain bin options. You got to get an impact linebacker. Patrick Queen fits today's NFL in terms of his ability to run side to sideline and to cover. Now, of course, there are some flaws to work out there, but Queen's athletic upside intrigues me. We saw that Mike Mayock likes champions. Queen fits that mold. It was Clemson last year, LSU this year. I think he'll test well and interview well, I should say. So Queen at 19, I like that fit for the Oakland Raiders. But will they draft a linebacker in round 1? Type 1 for yes, 2 for no. It'll happen a little bit later. It does depend on how the board falls, but I think there is a good chance the Raiders take that linebacker spot in the first round. Number 20, the Jacksonville Jags. I've got them taking Christian Fulton. Jalen Ramsey is gone. I know not everyone is high on Christian Fulton. I still am. He tested pretty well at the NFL Combine. There was some buzz going in. He wasn't a great athlete or wasn't going to test well. That's not the case. I like that fit for Jacksonville. Number 21, and the receiving class, the top 3 is very clear. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way down. I don't have a great feel for how it's going to go down. Jalen Reagor didn't have the best combine, but he's still a really good athlete. He put on a little bit too much weight. I like him for the Philadelphia Eagles. All right, Yetur Gross-Matos at number 22. Thought about receiver. Maybe the Bills can get that in free agency. Edge rusher is also a need. Gross-Matos, I think, fits what the Bills are trying to do. And beyond the top guys, Caleb Von Chasen, I wonder if Gross-Matos, especially in light of Epinesa not testing well, has moved up to that edge 3 discussion. Number 23, the Patriots have taking Justin Jefferson. He tested better than we thought he was going to. Now, yes, he is still more of a slot receiver, but that tends to fit what the Patriots want to do with their offense. He brings them a little bit more speed. N'Keal Harry, Justin Jefferson, Julian Edelman next year. I know it's not the biggest grouping at receiver, but it'll get it done, and it would work for the New England Patriots. Number 24, the Saints take Jordan Love. Teddy Bridgewater kind of feel like he's gone. Despite what Taysom Hill might tell you, he's not a franchise guy. Jordan Love's success in the NFL will be massively impacted by his destination. The Saints and Sean Payton, they can get the most out of him. Number 25, the Minnesota Vikings. Jeff Gladney. They've met with a lot of corners at the Combine. It's a big need. Gladney is the next best one left on the board. Xavier McKinney in this pick, by the way, to the Dolphins from the Houston Texans. I like McKinney. I think the NFL is going to be higher on McKinney than they are on Grant Delpit in Miami. They lost Micah Fitzpatrick. Rashad Jones is short for his time left in Miami. McKinney can come in and be a day 1 starter. Number 27, I always never know what to do for the Seattle Seahawks. I'm going to give them A.J. Epinesa. I am not out on him as a prospect, but we also have to be aware that his combine, even though he was never going to be a great athlete, it was rough. It was a very poor combine. I'm still going to take him in round 1. I like the production. He's a power defensive end, and Seattle historically has liked those guys. So if they can't retain Clowney, Epinesa could give them some more help at that position. Number 28, the Baltimore Ravens. Kenneth Murray is next up here at number 28. Ravens in the market for some inside linebacker help. Murray also has great speed. A little bit bigger, by the way, than Patrick Queen actually is. Those two, going to be a tricky little order there, but I like Murray's fit for the Baltimore Ravens. Speaking of the Ravens, if you're a fan, get yourself a Lamar Jackson jersey. Or if you're not a fan, don't worry. We got you guys covered on all types of NFL gear on sale. Some of it up to 50% off. It's chatsports.com/NFL sale. That link saves you up to 50% off on jerseys, on hats, on t-shirts, on sweatshirts, on shoes even. All types of stuff is on sale. chatsports.com/NFL sale. To make your life easier, I got that link in the comments and the description of this video. Number 29, Austin Jackson. Under the radar, had a pretty good combine, at least I thought he did. Out of USC, Tennessee might lose some offensive line help. Jackson could come in and help replace that. All right, let's get weird with it now. All right, let's have fun. That's the point, right? Let's go with Denzel Mims. Tested as an off-the-charts athlete. Meanwhile, Laviska Shenault ran horribly, but he's hurt. So you could cross off the slow 40 time, but he's hurt again. He's always hurt. That's a huge red flag. He tried to run through it. It did not work out there. I'm not convinced the NFL is going to medically clear Laviska Shenault. T. Higgins, meanwhile, didn't run that well, but all the arguments you'd make for T. Higgins, you would make for Denzel Mims, and he's a better athlete. Now, we'll see how the NFL feels, but I like the idea of Denzel Mims in that round 1 discussion. Plus, it's post-combine. Let's have a little combine winner in this mock. Number 31, the San Francisco 49ers taking Grant Delpit. I've mocked this before. I still think it makes sense. Now, I am actually not convinced Delpit goes in round 1 anymore. A, safeties tend to slide. B, he didn't test, which, I get that. He's still coming off the injuries. But he missed a lot of tackles last year. And NFL teams, they prefer players, especially free safeties, who aren't going to get beat on a missed tackle and give up a long touchdown run. But Delpit fits what San Francisco wants. I am still a fan of him. And if I'm the Niners, if Delpit's there, that might be the guy that convinces me to not trade out of the first round. Because the Niners, look, they're light on draft capital. So should they trade down out of round 1, type Y for yes, type N for no, when we get to draft night, I would not be surprised if San Francisco moved down even multiple times to try and add some more picks and add some more depth for a team that is going to have to pay several notable players in the upcoming off seasons. Number 32, Trevon Diggs, the cornerback out of Alabama. He's long, he's lanky, he's a former wide receiver. His brother Stephon Diggs. Boy, all of those things sound really intriguing. You've got the ball skills, you've got long and lanky. So why is he on the board at 32? Well, speed. He did not run at the NFL Combine, and that's because I don't think he was going to test very well. And that's fine. It's a smart move for Diggs, but he didn't show much makeup speed. Not that he had to do it very often, but I've got deep speed question marks. But if he's on the board at 32, I love the fit for Kansas City. I think it'd be a great pickup here by the Chiefs because they need cornerback help, and Diggs would fit that role really, really well, especially if he's there at the end of the first round. All right, the Chicago Bears is picked, by the way, from the Las Vegas Raiders, number 43 overall. Prince Amukamara is gone. Let's get them some cornerback help. Noah Igbinoghene. That's a tough last name. Noah I, if you just want to go with it easier. But Igbinoghene he's not that tall. He's a little bit on the undersized side. Not too short, but he's not a big guy. But he's a really good athlete, and I think he's still developing. So in round 2, if you can get a younger prospect on the rise, that could work out really well long-term for Chicago. Tight end could be an option, but it's a pretty horrible class. And, of course, offensive line quarterback, some of the spots we've mocked previously for the Chicago Bears. Number 49, I love this fit. Josh Uche, who the Steelers briefly met with at the NFL Combine informally. Fills a huge need. We'll see if they're able to keep Bud Dupree. I know there's some franchise tag rumors out there. If they do, we'll go a different direction. If not, I love the fit of Josh Uche across from Watt. Number 52, Ezra Cleveland, also a Combine winner. The Rams got to find tackle help long term. Cleveland brings that to them. And finally, the Houston Texans, number 57 overall, A.J. Terrell out of Clemson. Not that many corners at the board at this point for Houston. It's a big-time need. They could lose some players in free agency. Also, of course, look out for offensive line and running back as well for Houston.